Good afternoon. Welcome to Lower East Side. I'm going to sit because nobody seems to be sitting. Yeah, I did. I haven't seen Lori in over 20-something years, and the funny part is that when we went to a school called Friends Seminary, Quaker School, it was very diverse, so I was very comfortable going there from Catholic school, which I kind of hated. But there was such a diversity of people from all over the world and from my neighborhood. So when I saw her and we took the bus together, I always liked hanging out with her. But the one unique thing about her was her laugh. So last week, I'm in Key Food, going to the cat section to buy some cat food for my cat. And behind me was this young girl over here in yellow, dancing to a tune I couldn't understand. And then I heard Lori say something about cat food, and all of a sudden she started giggling about her daughter. And I just turned around and I was like, Lori Shapiro? She was like, oh my God, Cameron. So after that, we started talking. The Lower East Side is a very diverse place, and I still think it is. I haven't been here. I've been here for almost 2 years now. Moved back to a co-op right down on Columbia Street. Still a co-op. I grew up there, but I left for 12 years back in the late 90s. And for a while, I was a little bit, an artist. And, I stopped that to make some money, because that's what we always wanted to do in the 90s. That's what we learned from the 80s growing up. And I always traveled a lot, because my family was always mixed. So my mom was living in Australia. She got remarried. That's another connection Lori and I share. My mom lived 10 blocks away from where she did, and they never even knew each other in Australia. So I lived down here. I had an assortment of roommates from Paris to Ecuador, and everybody was kind of a little creepy, so I decided to just rent it out. Yeah, I had a guy that used to dance around naked in a Batman mask. I had a girl that I never touched that stalked me. And then I also had a neighbor who also turned out to be my old kindergarten teacher, and she's still there at 85. So, I always was instilled growing up here, for the diversity of just accepting everybody, because I'm mixed. I'm Dominican and Portuguese, but I have my aunts are from Holland, so I've lived in Amsterdam for many years. I've also lived in Barcelona. That's where my grandfather was from. So we were always taught to embrace all cultures, all religions, all colors. So, growing up down here, my first friends were, still a friend of mine, was Puerto Rican American. Another one was from Vietnam. And at that time, in the late 70s, we knew about Vietnam as being, the enemy and this and that. But to me, they were like really cool, and I loved the food. You still can't really get good Vietnamese food, but there they were cooking for me. And then from there, we started to, start an adventure group, from the Cub Scouts to the Boy Scouts. But in our spare time, a group of us, we all wanted to just, explore the Lower East Side. So we would go to Grand Street, which was mostly Jewish, hang out there. We had Jewish friends, so we had Jewish cuisine, Eastern European cuisine, kielbasa, matzo ball soup, which I still love, and a respect for, different languages. And then from there, we'd mingle down to Chinatown. And, there was an arcade there. We did cut school to go there. And then after a while, we just started moving uptown to the East Village, and we just became friends with everybody. And then from there, I became into my 20s, and I went to Friends Seminary. Left there before my last year to go to a school called Rhodes High School. And then from there, I spent about 6 months touring Europe. Then came back here and just started working in the food industry. Made some good money. Switched to fitness trainer. But what I always learned from my mom was an actress from down in the Lower East Side, is what I always gravitated towards artists, musicians, the birth of hip-hop. So we had like break dancing right here. There was a club right over here called The World, which took up half a block. A lot of people don't remember it. They used to have parties in that park before it was a drug den and prostitutes roamed, which us young kids didn't know what the hell that was, so we just stayed out of there. And, from there I just developed a thing for arts, from singing to dancing to acting, and then I got the filmmaking bug. So I left, just before 9/11, because I had moved. I decided to move. I went to Europe, and when I came back, I didn't want to go back to Lower East Side because I saw a lot of changes. And I didn't really know how to, embrace them. And a lot of the old-timers had died. The candy stores were gone. A good friend of mine died of AIDS. Martial arts buddy of mine, he had a store, comic book store, one of the first ones down on the Lower East Side. And he was an aspiring rapper. So I just decided, there's nothing here for me. And I wasn't being grateful for what I learned from down here. So I left, and from there, after 9/11, I spent a couple of years in Europe, Amsterdam, Barcelona, Liverpool, but something was missing. I went to school. I wasn't happy with the degree I had, so when I came back, I moved down to South Street. And then after that, a couple of months after that, we know what all happened was 9/11, which I lived by. So for a few years, I stayed down there, but I always kept coming back here to visit my mom because she came back to live down here. I ran into some old friends, saw the neighborhood changing, because we didn't have any bars or places like this. They were usually more underground stuff. A lot of poetry, like the New Rican Poets Cafe. I was here to witness hip-hop, martial arts. I was even in a line dance on Chinese New Year, and I've never done that in my life. So, so I decided, you know what, something is different. My aunt was dying. And she asked me to have cancer, and she's a staple from the Lower East Side. She had a video business down here, the card shop right by that Red Square, and a pool hall. And she died early of cancer, and she always told me, why don't you just move back here? You always seemed happier. And then after about a year, I decided, yeah, maybe, And so I put my name on a list for the co-op because I can't live with my mother, and I'm not going to do that again. I had gotten separation from my wife, and an apartment opened up. I went back for a second degree at City College. Yes, that's my alma mater, twice, in film. And about a year and a half ago, I moved down here. And people complained about the neighborhood being different. People complained about it, how it was better. But I wanted to just embrace it all and travel and see things, because there's a saying that the longer you live someplace, the more you become a part of it. And if you remember the past of the way it used to be, the different cultures, the different diversities, languages, and especially the food, great food and music, you can welcome a new group of people, a new diversity. So with that, I just wanted to say thank you.